It is the Fantasy Rugby Yanks. My name is Jared Dyke. I wanted to say it's stupid and let's move on, but then you kept going.
I'm Ben Glauser. I don't like any way anybody handled that.
Collusion. Hey, everybody. Welcome back. It is the Fantasy Rugby Yanks. My name is Jared Dyke.
I'm Ben Glauser.
Yes, it's the normal voices this week. Or at least
this
time.
Yeah, back to the man voice.
Let's be real. I can be very dainty sometimes. Very dainty. All right. Crack them.
Oh, shit.
That whole thing.
I'm prepared.
This beer was not prepared. Jesus.
Hmm.
Made a mess. Well, good thing this is all getting washed afterwards. Find us on your favorite podcast app. Download, rate, review. All that good stuff. Share. Sharing is caring, after all.
Sharing is caring.
By our good friend George, the Fantasy Rugby Geek, a coffee or beer, especially since we're all going on hiatus for a little bit this summer. Although, if you were smart enough to captain Kurt Lee Ardenson in your super routine this week, then I bet you George had that recommendation in there.
Probably,
if I remember right. So, yeah. So you're welcome, and also say thank you to him by getting him buy him a coffee.
Right.
As always, there is no discrimination here on this podcast, nor should there be in sports or in life. We turn towards the university and the armored wank ball, or the hand egg, as some of us like to call it as well.
I like wank ball better.
Yeah, I do too, but hand egg is actually
pretty good. But
too.
Rugby's kind of hand egg too, so
it is. But it's hand egg and foot, so that's okay.
That's true. But that's why the wank is, exactly what it is.
Yeah.
When you talk about armored wank ball, you know exactly what it is.
That's a fact. There. But anyway, we turn towards the university version here, and it's been a long-standing problem, this thing that's going on with Northwestern, and it's like everybody's aghast when it happens at another place that a guy's been at for a long time. Like,
right.
Duh. Did Joe Paterno teach us nothing?
Right. And here, well, I mean, I don't know if it's the same. I didn't look at the details. But here you have a guy who goes and coaches his alma mater, like, not that long afterwards. So bear in mind also, this guy, Pat Fitzgerald, the coach in question here, he's just a little older than me. He's 48.
Right.
Not
much, yeah.
Right. And I remember him. He was one of my favorite players back in the day, and he was one of those old school, like, really. He wasn't good enough to really play in the NFL. And I don't know that I don't know if he got drafted.
He did. He got drafted late.
Right. And I think he might have played a cup of coffee or whatever. And then basically, and what happened was Northwestern's coach passed away suddenly, and they're like, well, he's right. This guy won like 2 linebacker of the year award, like national linebacker of the year awards, like twice. So he won the four linebacker of the year awards. They were maybe even like best defensive player and 2 linebacker of the year awards in college. Like, this guy was fucking solid. Really good guy. But the thing is, when you go and you have traditions, and he was from the last vestige of the hazing. Like, it was working its way out by the time I was in, I was a captain of a team. We didn't do it in high school. Like, right. And even then we were still like, the freshmen had to carry pads or something like that to practice. Nothing big. It's just like, that's what you got to do. And it sucked when I was a freshman and whatever. And then it was when I was a senior. It was like, nope, we're not doing that at all. We're not singling anybody out. And it was like, oh, these kids are soft. And that was little, that's a little thing. But these guys were like pretty hardcore about it, the couple years ahead of me. So like, I kind of see where he's coming from, and you just never outgrew it. It seems.
No.
And that's the thing, when you come from it's hazing when you're neutrals like us, when you're in it just seems like tradition, right? I'm sure that stuff was going on when he was there. And he's like, this is what we do. This is what makes us good. Yeah, because Northwestern's so good at football, like college football. But it's the mentality, and that's the shame of it. That's really to me the sad part of this, is that he's a guy I looked up to. for a long time, right? I mean, I was in like high school, college when he was playing, and so I really liked him at the time. Um, and to see that, like, that's what he fostered is unfortunate. And there's no need, like, there is good hazing. There's way, and then not even hazing, I should say. There's good ways of what it, like, not induction, but like just getting someone into a team. Like they're the little traditions. You have to do something silly. Like I like in the NFL, they make their rookies sing their college fight songs. That's funny. That's hilarious. Like that, and other stuff that might actually bring you together. Right. It's got to be like something that brings you together, not sets you apart. And that's again what the no discrimination is. It's it even if it's by class, even if it's by age, that's still a way of creating division, because there's always one asshole who takes it too far anyway.
Always.
At least.
Always. So yeah, that's the thing. Like you always will have that one guy, and you can't, and when you have that guy, you run the risk of shit like this happening. That's the thing. Like, there's going to be the one asshole, so might as well just knock it off, because while 99% of you are doing everything under control and in good fun, there's the one dickhead that brings it too far, and that's when everyone gets in trouble. And that's why it's got to stop, because there will always be that one dickhead.
Right.
Always.
Right.
It's how she goes.
Yeah. So right, there's this, it's silly, move past that, the tradition. It's not tradition, it's just shitty teammatery and
definitely,
and team leadery. Like, it's just, that's not what you do when you want to lead a team.
Nope. Thank you again to our better halves for we got lots more thank yous to them afterwards, but thank you to them for being good sports and coming on and making sure that everybody was thoroughly entertained in our 200th episode. Which was a good time. I enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it a lot, even though my wife fucking wrecked me a couple times.
She does that sometimes.
She does. I need it. If you're listening, I need it. So I'm sure those who heard it were amused.
Yeah, no doubt.
There's like, I still can't figure out why she married me, but I know why I married her.
Yeah, right.
Like,
you out of your mind. You were out of your mind, but that's okay. Anywho, let's go to Chicago. Champion! Chicago? Yes.
Fuck yeah.
God, that took years off my life, and I'm pretty sure I nearly broke my hand, pounded it on the fucking bar. But
when Milan went over, it was like
elation, and just like, and then obviously only a point's difference. It's like, fucking hell, we could totally lose this thing.
Right.
We could easily lose this
actually
thing.
Hold on. Let me, as we're getting through this, so continue on with a recap, if you will, as I look something up.
Yeah. It started hot. Like, we didn't do anything amazing to get that try, and really, I don't know if it was more Nanu's fault or if it was Judd's fault with that ball that Nanu ended up cocking up and Jacobson scooped up and scored. But yeah, thank you very much for the gift. Thank you kindly. Later. No problems. Happy to oblige.
Oh, that was, he was the one who picked it up after Nanu bottled it. I'm blaming Nanu because he had just a terrible game. Like, he didn't have a bad stop game there.
That was I watched Nanu play a number of games. I'm a Hurricanes fan. Obviously, I watched the international stuff, and I've seen him play for too long. Here, that is without a doubt the worst game I've ever seen him play.
Yeah, that's one of those. If you're thinking, if you even have it in your head that you've retired going into the game, like, I'm done after this game, you turn around and be like, you know what? I might need to play another season just to get that out of my system. Like, you can't end on that. That was a shock. And like, no, just for, like, obviously every respect to him. I was just like, I was scared of him. That was like the one guy on their team who was like, that's the one I'm most scared of. And he was the one who was giving it away to us the most. So I was happy about that, certainly.
Yeah. Thank you, God. But it was in the first half, I was worried only because I was like, by the end, I was like, shit, we have to somehow play better than this, because we got a couple of gifts and we took advantage of them.
A bunch of gifts, yeah.
You know, if we couldn't play any better, then we were going to be totally bummed, and it was never going to go well. And because the defending that we had on the Osberger for the first Osberger try was criminal.
Awful.
I was like, what are we doing? I mean, he knew who he was picking on. He picked on a couple of front row forwards to begin with, and then because the way that they do their back two, they split them obviously, and maybe don't split them so much. Not quite as much, but
that to me, both teams were like just poopy pants, because the Jacobson try happened after a sequence of multiple free jacks bed shittings, where somehow San Diego bed shit worse. Like New England would do something stupid, San Diego get the ball and then just move backwards.
Legion would play hold my beer.
And all of a sudden it's like, wait, okay, okay, we messed that up, we knocked it on, but they played it back, they played it away, they lost advantage, and then they gave it back to us, and it was like that way all the way down like the field until a try. And then as you said, the Augsburger try came because of bottle defense. Like, it was just stupid shit that was allowing both teams to score. And so it was really at halftime, we were both kind of like, all right, we're losing, but we're not by no means out of it.
No, we weren't out of it.
It was like, can you play better than them?
Yeah.
And they did. I mean, they tightened it up, got it close till that's exactly what they needed to do. I think what I said last week was that we're probably not going to know who's winning at 60th minute. We definitely did not.
Nope.
And it was like, we might know who's winning it at 70th minute, which we did not.
We did not.
And then it was extremely late.
35th, 36th minute try.
Yeah. And what a play, just kind of coming out of nowhere. Like, that whole thing was weird, because there were like, even the comms were saying that the Free Jacks weren't really spreading the field, and so they weren't really putting that much pressure on the Legion. It didn't feel like, although just being down there and pounding away, like at some point
pressure sometimes
there's pressure, because something's coming and you don't know when it's going to happen. And it was just a bunch of one ups, and then just one pass, just one
good pass is all it took.
One good pass, and Milan beat his man, and then beat the next defender to the line, and it was, there you go. Like,
I always knew if he could get by one.
Once he bounced off the first, right? Once he bounced off the first tackle, it was like, and actually, I think I'm mistaken. He bounced off the guy outside of it, like, who was
shoved
not
him off,
his defender.
No,
he shoved off the next guy and just outraced his own.
Yeah,
the guy who was supposed to have him.
Nanu, I think, maybe Brahi.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, that's right. No, he ran into Nanu, because he kind of bulldozed. Nanu was kind of standing out a little wider, and he kind of pushed him over and then ran like, and again, Nanu wasn't responsible for him. So that's not a blaming Nanu thing. It's just he was in the wrong place at the wrong time on that.
Right.
He was the guy who his inside defender fucked him.
Yeah, definitely. And Milan was the one that got rid of the chicken wing to Johnson that created the Balacana try as well.
Right.
So how Milan didn't end up on the player of the match list, I have no idea. What the fuck Mikey Teo was doing on there, I also have no idea. I don't know who the fuck's watching this match, but he was dog shit. Like, player of the match, like, Osberger and Petraz definitely belonged on there. Petraz won it, thankfully.
Right.
But like, why Teo got on there and not LaRue Milan, I haven't got a clue.
That doesn't make any sense.
No, it makes no sense whatsoever.
That's people knowing names
and not necessarily recognizing what good rugby is.
Right. Not Mike Teo's not that good. I'm sorry.
No.
Actually, I'm not sorry. That's not right. I'm not sorry about it. It's just he's way overrated by US people. Way overrated. Yeah, he played for the Eagles. Like, they get this bone up their ass about
played long time, like a while ago, man.
He's really good. He played for the, like, okay, how good are the Eagles? Like, come on.
let's discuss where the Eagles are going to be playing this fall, shall we?
Right. So let's not use that. If we're using that as our oh no, he's really good. No.
And you can't use it for Canada either. It's the same. It's the same.
Also, that last sequence, as front row forwards, we would be remiss if we didn't talk about basically everything that happened after the try.
Yeah, well, all the scrum. Well, So in many aspects, we got a little lucky, and I don't feel dirty, but I also feel a little bit ashamed. Like if Will Huey's on the field, he's hitting a drop goal, or at least attempting a drop goal.
Yeah.
The Henderson kid was never going to.
No.
They faked like he was going to set up for it, and he's like, "Nope, I don't have that in my locker.
Yeah.
I'm running."
Yeah.
And so, thankfully, but not thankfully, and that's a shitty way for Will to go out. That's the last game, I think.
It is.
So that sucks, but at the same time, it's like, thank God he wasn't in, because
Right.
he's setting up for a drop goal, and whether or not he hits it, I don't like those odds.
No, not so much.
But yeah, forcing them to either, basically them banking on us making a mistake, or them having to score it was what it was going to come down to.
Right.
And
And
thankfully we have a good enough defense.
Yeah. They got him to knock it on. Not that I thought that was pretty early. I don't remember the Legion getting the ball, other than they knocked it on because we had
They knocked it on with like a minute and a half to go, and Joe James was actually really good about trying to stop the clock on resets.
Yeah, he was.
But stuff like that. So I give him credit for that.
There's still only so much you can do. So they knocked the Free Jacks, who I don't know the scrum coach. They don't really point them out, pick them out in the that's what I was looking for, to figure out who the scrum coach was. And they don't really identify that in the Free Jacks page. Because that is how you scrum to close out a game. They
waste one and then
they wasted three.
Yeah. We got lucky on that one. Every time the whistle blew, my bum puckered. I was like, "Oh, please no, please no."
Because nothing. Yeah, nobody was going down. It was just not. There was just shit not going right, which is, I guess people went down. Yeah, at some point, the first one, because that's what you did.
First one it did, and that's what made me nervous. I was like, "Please no."
And then the second one, I think he blew it up before he put the ball. Like, it was just not. Yeah, something was fucked.
Wasn't
stable, and then I think the third one, that was basically it. They just waited and they kept the ball in the scrum until he said play it. At that point, the clock was up, and that's just absolute championship caliber rugby right there. That, like, tactics anyway. Yeah, the talent has a ways to go, but that was tactics. I ate that up. If you like, I was not in a great mood watching this match, and just because other things. And I was on my feet cheering because of both, the fact that it was the Free Jacks, and because that was like, I love watching us good, like, just close it out. Yeah, waste a couple, use the clock, like perfect scrum tactics, and especially given who was in. I mean, the backup front row, Kyle, and they really didn't bother at all. It was solid. Also, that said, because I mentioned him,
net positive.
He played for him very well. That was what I would hope to see from someone who's playing desperate, urgent rugby. That's really what it was.
Like, God, if you can't show up moderately in a final, you need to turn your jersey in.
Right.
Because that's the end. Like, really, you can't do that. Yeah.
Because Jared made note of it as we were talking. He's like, yeah, but like, some of the rucks that he hit, he was kind of just hanging out there.
He was just leaning on it. Sometimes I was like, yeah, no, go be useful somewhere else, dude. You are a wasted body there. Get out of there.
But the difference is that out of those rucks, he would come out of those rucks and be the first one at the next ruck, and like be very important. And I'm like, fuck's sake, like that's good prop rugby. Yeah, sometimes you get caught in no man's land. You just enter the ruck because you want to hang out. But to go up and show urgency and hit the next one, and then hit the next one after that, like, he hit a couple in a row sometimes, and that's stuff we haven't seen from him. So,
well, if you can't do it in a final,
gotta say, right? At least, but that's the thing. He did it in the final, and that's, when we needed it, and we won. And I that's one of those, like, every, all 23 put in a championship performance. So,
well, Younger and Jones didn't touch the field.
All 21 of 23 who played.
Neither Younger nor Spencer Jones touched the field. I was actually surprised.
Yeah,
it was Baxter and not Jones that went in, but they had to get it looked like they were using him for his height and to get up in the air, especially against Ausberger. But overall, man, I love it. Jacobson, what a great addition he was this year. Keys, obviously,
Yep.
Quatrin,
Bring
Kira
Luke.
Symes, Hints. Like there are a lot of key pieces that stuck around, but the additions that we had on top of it all was really the thing that got us. So Ben Lesage, without a doubt, has to be my favorite signing this year. Absolutely my favorite signing this year.
How much fun is he post game too? He's one of the good people who, whenever we go down to the fence line, he stops to talk to us.
Yes,
like
he's a good lad.
It's like
he really is.
I mean, he does talk to pretty much everybody, but like, there's not many people. But he recognizes them too. Like he recognizes. He's like, "Hey, you guys!" Yeah, like, "Hey, it's good to see you guys."
Yeah, he's
like,
a really he's definitely a fan favorite, no doubt.
Yeah.
My second favorite signing is probably Reese McDonald this year. He's been he's been
ridiculous.
We talked about last week.
That's such a cheat code. He's been
great. Signed as a backup 10, but has been obviously clearly filled the role at 15. Did well under the high ball for the most part. I think he had the one mistake, and that's it. Like really, that's it. Like there was the one glaring error, and that is it. I don't think he had a toe wrong otherwise. So
no,
loads of credit to Reese, and we got a chance to talk to him the other week and express how great he's been for the team. And
we'll say it again on Saturday too.
Yep. Party in Quincy, you're all invited.
Yep.
Just don't come be a poopy pants and all that stuff. But other than that, love it.
No New Jersey or DC fans.
Yeah, please. Go away.
Arrows fans,
been great.
We got your guys. You can come to.
Yeah, Arrows, you come on down. And on the other side for Legion, it's not to say there weren't great players. Obviously, Osberger had himself a day. Hooley was steering the ship quite well. Podevin, he was annoying. Fungia was every time I watched the ruck or watched a tackle, he was there and he took like 10 seconds to get up. Like he was everywhere, but he just slowly got himself back in, and it was like almost deceiving how good he was. Now I will say, if that's Blair Cowan and not him, that's a problem because thank God Blair Cowan was suspended for this game too. But hey, listen, you can't hold anything against that because he was dumb. That's his own fault.
Right, that was a well-earned suspension.
Yeah, sorry, dude.
And he didn't need to do it. Yeah.
No. So yeah, boys, take it home. Sorry, Legion.
How awesome is that?
Bridesmaid, not the bride.
Free Jacks championship.
Yes.
That's just because this is like, as we're saying, this is a good comp, right? This is not I mean, it's a good second tier comp.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, tier 2 comp, no doubt. Not quite the top one, but yeah, definitely tier 2 comp and still very good.
These are some good teams. Like the Legions are a great team. Seattle's a great team. There's some very good teams in this comp, and the Free Jacks fucking
got it done.
The worst trophy in sports is one you cannot drink out of.
Yeah, stupid shield.
And this is rugby. How do you?
I mean, I guess top 14 has the plaque thing, but like that's been around forever. And this is not. We chose to do this like a bunch of idiots. So that's my one problem.
If I had realized that we were talking to the CEO last week before he kind of left, I would have mentioned it. Get a fucking cup.
Get a cup.
Get a cup,
please.
Cup.
Please. You can make the shield something else.
35-pound shield. Okay, so it's really heavy and you can't drink out of it. What
good does it do then?
Right.
What good is it?
Yeah.
We'll touch it anyway on Saturday, probably.
Absolutely.
Hold it up and be cool with it.
Hopefully get a picture with it.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Maybe
get its number.
Remember, give your camera to a fucking woman this time.
Right. No dudes.
No dudes allowed.
Yeah.
Dudes, we're shitty picture takers. That's just how it is.
Right.
Okay. Anywho, now that we've just splooged all over the place with that one.
Yeah, thank you for bearing with us there.
Thanks for dealing with that. Let's do a 15 of the season. So effectively our pod season and what we covered, and
which covers a lot.
It is quite a bit. And different players will end up in this team for different reasons, whether it's a small reason or a big reason or a single moment that I can think of for myself, at least. But yeah, we're going to go through this a little bit here and there. We have players from quite a wider range of players in my team, that's for sure. So that's the beauty of this one.
Yep.
So let's start loose head prop. Who'd you go with?
So in this case, I went with someone who really basically was, to me, the best put their foot forward loose head prop of any comp this season. although he's had a couple good ones recently, this was a fucking great one, and he's in a national team because of it, and that's Val Rapava-Ruskin.
Okay. Yep. I can see that. Yeah. I hope he finally gets some sort of look. Good God.
Yeah.
He's been called into that camp how many times and hasn't really got a look.
And I think it'll help that, Mako's kind of done.
Oh, this is definitely Mako's last competition.
Right. And so it's like you got Genge, duh. And then Val Rapava-Ruskin. Who else is there? Obano's in. Oh,
that's probably it.
He's really good
that's
too.
That's probably it.
Yeah. But either way, those should be your three.
Right. I think so too. So I went Homer-ish / a little off the board. I went with Hope Rogers, who had herself was one of the better teams and was not a great team at the World Cup for the US. But also her Premier 15 season was actually very good. She was one of the top try scorers. Obviously played in the final. Almost scored in the final. Actually she did score in the final, didn't she? Yeah, I think she scored the first try. Anyway, so loads of credit to her, and she was someone I was bashing for a long time about getting herself around the paddock, and she's proven that she can do otherwise. So give her credit. Hope Rogers is my loose head for the season.
Not bad.
Deuce.
Who's your deuce? Ha! Did not plan that.
The deuce, no. The old double deuce.
The deuce?
I went Montoya.
Okay,
rewind all the way back to them, the Argentinians winning in the Pumas winning in New Zealand, and then just the season he had for the Tigers as well, when they really needed him because Genge was gone, and they needed another body in there to just be that guy, be that force. And certainly I would say that he led from the front, so I give him a lot of credit, and he's still trying to do as best he can for the Pumas. So Montoya is my two.
I went down south. Actually, the rest of my type 5 is down south.
All right.
Giggity. So my hooker this season was a guy who just fucking brought it week in, week out. And even though there's obviously massive competition at that position, I think he's the guy. Cody Taylor.
Yeah. I agree with your thoughts there. He was definitely on my short list for hooker. I was like, all right, it's either Taylor or Montoya. I don't know which one. So I was like, you know what? I'll go with Montoya because I figured Taylor was up there too. Yeah, he's,
so there we
like
go.
I said,
both of them.
he should be considered heavily for All Blacks next captain when Razor takes over. Love the guy. Thankfully we as much as we hate Flo, we've been able to watch some of the pre-game stuff, and there's been a lot of stuff on Cody Taylor that's made me just really like the guy a lot more. So
it's hard to not like.
Yep. Tight head.
This was difficult for me. Because tight head's a weird position. Because first off, again, you're the only prop that actually scrums. So that takes away a lot of your movement around the pitch. So it's kind of hard to go, to really make your mark on matches. So what I did was I kind of went that same thing, like who put themselves in the best position for their national team. And this guy's actually on it, even though it's an Eddie Jones team. So it's like, okay, what does that mean? And how many minutes is he going to get before he gets pulled? But either way, Zayn Nangor with the kick-ass name.
Reds. Yeah.
Did a good job. Filling, he's got big boots to fill.
Big boots to fill down there with Chubo Hurt. Yeah.
And he's a puppy, and he did a really good job.
Yeah. Him being in the squad will do him more good going forward. Presently, I don't know if it's going to be enough, but going forward, it's going to do him a lot of good. I went with a guy that's played really.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah, he's a bad. I went with a guy that's been very good for his country, very good for his club, and got himself a winner's medal to prove it. I went with Uni Antonio.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, just really good player. And he only ends up coming off at 50 minutes or so.
Right.
But those 50 minutes are always dynamite. So, or almost always dynamite.
But
as two finals this year.
As a 3, like 50 minutes, if you're a beast of a 3, 50 to 60 minutes is it. If you're coming off earlier than that, you might have had a rough one. If you're a prop going more than 60, you're like as a tight head, you're fucking nuts.
Yeah.
So, and he does, he has the potential to do that later, but for now, yeah, that's still a good place to be, and especially on a national team.
Yeah, for a very good
But, yeah,
national team at that,
bring the next guy in for 30. That you should have a guy you want on the pitch a lot, so you don't wait till them to get too tired before you pull them.
Right, I agree. Engine room. Mine's got a particular country theme to it.
Me too. And mine has this is my homer pick for Super Rugby. It's hard to call him a homer pick, gotta say. Brody Retallick.
Yeah,
that's
really
hard
a homer pick, but
right. Point being, there's so many locks to choose from, so I'm like, okay, there's my chief.
Oh, there's so many to choose from. Don't worry, I got a chief in there.
Okay,
good. We'll have a nice mix up of theme, because mine is still one of the best second rows in the world. It looks like he's starting this weekend. He's going to be healthy, and his club appreciates him a lot. His country appreciates him a ton. He's definitely the best second row, one of the best second rows in the world. I'd say number one, number two are him and Morrow still. Evan Etzebeth. Yeah, really hard. The guy doesn't have a bad game. That's the thing. Like,
unless he gets himself into trouble with the ref, that's it.
Like, and that's rare. He's been so much smarter about it, like, since 5 years ago when he was really stupid.
Right.
Just been so much smarter about it, and just a high quality player to really just enjoy watching, because he's so smart too. Like,
yes,
you rewind to the Quins game where he had it all. He had the brain to just pick that ball up at the back of the ruck and be like, bye, I got it. He knew what he was doing, and it was 100% legal. So, yes, that's hard to argue with the guy. So, one of my second rows.
Yeah. So sticking with my Kiwi second row pairing, Scott Barrett has taken another step forward. Massive step. Like, he was already good, and lately he's been just otherworldly. Like, oh yeah, you're a Barrett in the loose too. Like, it's fucking crazy. Yeah, nothing more to say about that. He's been too good.
Imagine all the Barrett brothers had been able to play, because I think there's two that don't play at all.
Scary.
Yeah. So mine,
two Ilagi brothers that play at the same time under the same jersey in the French U20s.
Yep.
So yeah,
could be.
They should do that. Just play as one guy like he does.
I know. Freaking just looks like he's a pair of people sometimes.
Right. Anywho, who's your other lock?
Mine's going to be JLDP from the Sharks.
Yeah.
You look at him. DDP was pretty banged up this year. They had lost Lude.
Yep.
And Johnny Hill. Johnny Hill is not like swapping Johnny Hill for Luke Jagger is not a good swap. Like, that's a really shitty swap. So, and then the Currys are all banged up as we're going throughout the season, or missing one or the other. Yes, and then fuckface John Ross is in there, and they have to lean on him. So really, the most impactful forward, I think,
is not really that impressive.
No, God, he had a couple of hold my beer moments this year too. So
yeah, he did.
With all that, I think he was definitely one of, if not the best forward for the Sharks, and they got to the final. Huge reason why they got there was him. So I'm definitely going to give him props where it needs to be. He plays for the wrong country in terms of locks, but it's okay.
Although he's he's not. It was the other Sale lock who's started. It's the it was Lude, as you mentioned, who's starting.
Oh yeah, well he plays over in Japan now, I think. So.
Yeah. Anyway, back row. I'm putting an 8 at 6 because fuck you, I'm doing it. So my 8 at 6 is Greg Aldrete.
He's my 8. That works though. Yep. Yeah. As far as back rowers go, he's on one of the best teams in the world. He's definitely their best loose forward. He's probably their best forward.
Yeah.
with a few exceptions. Like I think Martian's probably on the same degree.
He's up there,
but not quite. I think I think Aldrit's still a tier above. And as we were talking about the other week, in terms of number 8s that are playing better in the Northern Hemisphere, at least, I don't know anybody better.
I know of one better, which is I put him at 8 on my team, but that's
marginal probably. So
yeah, and he's not originally a Northern Hemisphere. He's just playing there for professional.
Well, and that's different. So that's different. So that being more
entirely different.
More about who's playing for a national team in the Northern Hemisphere that's playing better than Aldrit. I don't know. Nobody. So yeah, definitely in there. My 6 is this is definitely a homer pick, but I don't think it's unfair either. Ben Earl.
Okay. Yeah. He's my 7.
Yeah. No, my 7's another guy that people will know nice and well. But yeah, Earl, what can you say? Like, can play all over the back row, does everything asked for him. You know, and we talk about players that you want to root for and get behind and attract fans. You need players that play with passion, and there are not many guys that play with more passion on the pitch than Ben Earl. And he loves his club, he loves his country, and he will dump it all out there for you. And you gotta love it. And when he does, he's usually one of the more effective players, if not the most effective player on the pitch too.
Yep.
So
he does it all. There's nothing he doesn't do well. Although I don't think we've seen him kick yet.
I'm sure he's put a few kicks through.
I'm sure he can. Yeah, I'm sure he can hit a grubber too.
Yeah.
He just hasn't. He's waiting on that.
Yeah. Right. What's so let's see.
Your 7.
My 7. Van der Fleer.
Yeah. Okay.
Josh Van der Fleer.
Yeah. Well,
because by the time we wrapped up last year, we were we were still we hadn't really discussed the New Zealand series yet, and he was obviously a huge part of that win. Plus the Grand Slam this year, and yes, Leinster lost in the final, but still one of the reasons they got there was because of him.
Yeah, got a Player of the Year trophy.
Player of the Year trophy on top of it all. Like, there's arguments for many people, but none of them will overtake him. No. May they match him? Yes, but I don't think they'll overtake him. So Van der Fleer
disappeared in that championship final. So
he did. To be fair, but I'm thankfully I'm looking at the whole body of work. For his sake, I'm looking at the whole body.
I know. I just needed to kind of twist that knife there.
No, you're correct.
So I guess we're all settled except for my 8. Then
who's your number 8?
My number 8 is a guy who we have in the past roasted because as a guy who could be great and just is too much of a fucking helmet.
Oh yeah, I know where we're going.
And he has, previous to this year, turned it around a little bit, but this year, front to back, start to finish, didn't put a foot wrong at all at club level, at international level. Got rid of the bullshit and is just, to my mind, might be the most impactful 8. Like Aldrit, again, great player. There's some other great 8s. But Jasper Wiese is just a who's when he wants like that. What was the big match where I can't remember. It was Leicester, and I can't remember. They brought him in late against somebody. It might have been Champions Cup.
Bench. Yeah, I remember that.
And he's just like, I'm winning this game by give me the ball. I'm running over 3 of these people into the try zone, and that's what he can do.
I remember that, it's not playing, but I remember that.
You don't just do that. And
no,
and he can do that. He can make grown men look like little boys, and it's just that impressive. So for a guy who he's really putting it all together and can even still get better, I want to give him his props here.
Yep,
because I like him a lot now too. He was a guy who was like, I want to like him, but he's just doing too much shit to be likable.
Yep,
and not anymore. And now I find him eminently likable.
Yeah, very, very. Yeah, just one of those guys that you just fear when he's picking up the ball. You're like, shit, what the hell's going to happen next?
Yeah.
No. That's a your man call for a lot of people on that one.
Right.
That's what that is. All right, to the scrum halfree.
Yeah. I didn't overthink this. I just took an Anton Dupont and
You
like, there you
did
go.
punt, didn't you? Good lord.
Yeah, I kind of punted on this one.
He is still. It's hard to say he's not the best 9 in the world. I know there are other people that are like, well, you listen.
I like Jameson Gibson Park.
I do
He's
too.
my
I do
he's
too.
my kind of number 2, but I felt like
Honorable mention absolutely deserves. But
yeah.
But no, and I think Gibson Park's getting up there. Nuggies looking like his old self. If he plays like he did in the Highlanders jersey for the All Blacks, then he's going to be up there too. But
there's too much of what he has been lately. So I couldn't. Yeah, I like him, and he played very well this year. Very, very well this year.
No doubt.
So, yeah, going like really. I think he might have a World Cup on his mind.
Yeah, a couple of them do. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I went with somebody that got their first trophy finally, has had to battle, and I mean battle through everything, especially this season. She raised a trophy this year. My 9's Mo Hunt from Gloucester.
Yeah.
You know, just
that's a good
everything
one.
she's had to fight for injuries and shit, and just you know, she's stuck to her guns too. She's played for Gloucester for majority of her life, and has never just been like, I'm going to go to Bristol and play, maybe play in a file that way, or I'm going to go to Exeter and play or Sarries or Quinns. Nope, she has rode it all the way out, and she finally got her due.
With gotta love players like that in any comp, who stick with it. Because Gloucester Hartbury's been like meh, like not great, not terrible, just nice puddle of meh. So I'm really glad for her that she got to see this through. Yeah, absolutely.
Yep, absolutely.
Good shout.
Yep. 10. Bus driver.
I'm sticking with my Prem 10 of the year because he was just that impactful to his club. And I don't know of anybody else who was that from that position. There's a couple, like I thought about having Faz here as my super homer pick because I thought he was like, no, that's my jersey. That's my 10 jersey.
Right. Yeah, it's international.
But Bobby Dupes, Robert Dupree is just Sale is not in that final without him.
No, definitely not. No, they're not in the position they are without him. No. There's no question about that. Oh, I went with a guy that has been playing for a very good team internationally, and he's also played for a really good team for his club, and he won his club his league final in Tamaki. And that was at the death.
Yeah.
At the death. And I was the only reason I was hesitant was I was thinking about that semifinal against Leinster in Dublin, but also like you got to remember they took Dupont away from 9, which was the stupidest move. Prove that Ugo Mal is a complete fucking idiot. But I don't know what the hell they were doing with that. So I kind of throw that game out. Other than that, very good for France. Has any question about whether or not he should be playing 10 or 12 and have somebody else play 10 is definitely gone. Like,
agreed.
He's the 10 and everybody else is playing for second banana right now. Whether it's Carbonell or Astoy or Jalibert or whoever, they're all playing second fiddle right now. It's in Tamac's shirt, and he's playing for what potentially could be the World Cup favorites. So
and he was on my list. He was my guy before I kind of switched over to Dupree.
Yeah, fair.
So I'm glad to see that you gave him a shout because he had a good year. The thing that he was inconsistent as far from what I saw, and that's why he didn't make mine because I thought he didn't play to his potential for a lot of this pod year, and that's domestic and international from what I saw. So that's why I slipped him. But fuck, I'm not saying you shouldn't. That's why I was like, yeah, Bobby Dupes was the guy who he elevated his team constantly. So
he did.
That was, and look, is there any question who's the better player?
No, I think we know who it is.
So yeah, mine was purely out of kind of sentiment, I guess.
Yep. Much respect. You want to go to the midfield? Or you want to go to the back three?
Let's go to the midfield.
Okay. Well, 12.
1, 2, 3. Ollie Lawrence.
Yeah. Should be in England's team. Like, If he's not in England's team, then they're not winning the World Cup, or they're not even going to come close. Let's put it that way. Like, he is that impactful. He will make that type of difference. Everybody's talking about Tui. No, Tui is done.
Yeah,
Lawrence can do everything that Tui can do in circles. Like,
old and busted, the new hotness.
Yeah, like that's just busted, how it is.
The new hotness. It's just how it goes.
So it's how it's cycles. It's how it works, man. It's not, nobody made this shit up. It's just how it is.
Yeah.
So yeah, Ollie Lawrence without a doubt. My outside.
Yeah.
Did I pick her for one moment and one moment only? Yes, I don't give a shit.
You got a picture with her?
Yeah, also that. But yeah, Stacey Fluller. Like,
yeah.
Jeez. That try in the World Cup final, like, oh my God. I was like, started, finished, and just poster it, like put it on a poster, like,
did something awesome at both ends, let other people do awesome things, and then
started, finish, like, stayed with it the whole way. And yes, I know she wasn't the only one to make an impact on that play, but she decided to run that thing too. Remember that? She decided we're running this. So you got to give her the credit there, and she stayed with it the whole way to finish. And and she also was super impactful to that team. Like, when she was healthy, was there anybody else that was going to play 13 for that team during that tournament? No. She picked up a knock, but other than that, and then she went back to Killian Sevens too. So just all around awesome person. So Stacey's my 13.
My 13, from the same country, and I kind of wasn't expecting this before the name popped up on my screen as I typed it in, but this was a guy who you and I, if you had mentioned this name to either of us, how many months ago? 6 months ago, let's say. It's more even, further back than I need to go, but giving me a good buffer. We'd be like, who? I'm like, if this guy's playing, the Crusaders are in trouble. And that's what I said the first time he got the start, because they had, Goodhue got hurt, Enor was hurt. Some other center was hurt, and they popped in this guy with a. First off, this guy should be in a fucking Western movie, not playing rugby in New Zealand. So Jared knows who I'm talking about, as do all of you, that I'm talking about Dallas McLeod.
He's like stormed on.
Also played his way into a national team, so and earned it. I thought he played better than the guys he was replacing too. So
some of the guys, definitely. I don't know.
So well done to him.
Goodhue is
profile raiser. That's my profile raiser in the back. So I had Zane Nongor in the front, Dallas McLeod in the back.
I think Goodhue's done. He's gone. Like, they're gonna try and force it, but I think he's done. So
him and Kane are done.
McLeod will be great going forward. All right, back three. Start with 11.
Because this guy just dominated the Super Rugby set pretty much start to finish. Although, there's others, and I already chose my homer, so it's not a Chief. Although there are two Chiefs that really deserve to be on this list as honorable mentions.
Absolutely.
But to me, Mark Talea, was unstoppable. And
he's my 11 too.
Absolute
monster. I hope he gets healthy for the tournament going forward here, because that's only going to help them.
Yes.
And even in the fall when he made his debut, like, automatic impacts.
Right.
So gotta love the guy, and he's a pain in the ass. 14.
Ruby
Tui. Good one.
Again, profile raiser for the sport. One of the best players in the game. At a huge impact position, and with plenty of other players, easy to get lost in the mix, but she still shines through it.
She
has the personality to back it up too, which is that's obviously part of it. She's too much fun.
Way too much fun.
If I'm putting a team together and I don't pick Ruby Tui, I'm missing something. So
something happened, right? So my wings have a theme. They're both named Mark. I went with Nawaka Tanawase. He you wondered like, all right, what are the Taz missing sometimes? And he's now number one, he's now like the guy in the back three back there. He's not, he's not the pup that he was a few years ago when he banged onto the scene and we didn't know who he was and nobody could pronounce his last name. And now he's played in the gold shirt, and I thought he played very well in that gold shirt. And the only reason he's not doing it right now is because, well, Eddie Jones is his national team coach. That's not his fault.
Right.
I think, and I just think he's had a great year as well. And I know the Taz were kind of poo, but really, he's no longer just the funny name. He's actually a really fucking good player. So
yes,
I enjoy it, and I look forward to more years with Marky Mark.
Although, to be fair, he is kind of funny looking too.
He is a little goofy looking, yeah.
Got the fro, he's got that beak of a nose. He looks like the bear kind of thing going on. With
we know what's going on there, but that's okay. That's okay. And then fully back.
I want you to. Oh wait, I don't know. Maybe we have the same person.
No, we don't.
I did say that I'm going Homer in every possible competition. There's one we're missing. And one position left, and one guy we talked about a little bit at the end of the MLR, and this guy normally a 10, changed positions, and has just been beasting it all season. And replaced, first off, not only that, replacing a legend in Bodine Waka. Like, you don't just step in and take over for Bodine, and people don't notice. Reese McDonald was like, "Yeah, we're good, we're cool." I
got you guys.
Like we get Patraz as the 10. Would be cool to have Patraz and Bodine, although we'll get that next year. But Reese was just at such class.
Yeah, dynamite
at 15, international quality. I'd say is
really
where
good.
I would go.
Really good. Yeah,
I can't say world class because it was MLR. So, but that's the best I can do is international quality.
Yeah. Probably. I can say this guy has been world class for most of the year. Sean Stevenson from the Chiefs.
Yeah.
To me, of the back three guys, he was the better, and I don't think Noah did that bad this past weekend.
No, he didn't.
But to me, of the back three guys that are in that Chiefs backfield, he's the one to keep your eyes peeled for, and he's going to light things up. And give him some space, give him some time, and he'll create. And he showed that this year, I think. And really, he did score in the final too, didn't he? Pretty sure.
It sounds right. We'll go with it.
So anyway, very breakout season for him. Really put himself down as a player that to be watched and should be on Fozzie's list. And if he's not on Fozzie's list, you better be on fucking Razor's list next year.
He'll be on Razor's list. I would guarantee that.
Yeah,
Razor's not going to let someone like that go. Fozzie might because he's Fozzie.
Because he's dumb, but is what it is. Cool. All right. 15s. Great. All right. So, if you haven't figured it out, folks, this is the last pod that we're gonna do for a little while.
Yeah, so we'll talk to you next week. Oh wait,
wait a minute.
Yeah,
we'll definitely be in for World Cup. Speaking of World Cup, and I reached out to Super Brew, and they could not divulge information, but they teased some good things coming. So I'm hopeful, and sounds like Prem are teasing something potentially, maybe.
Yep. Maybe. Better.
I choose to believe and hope as opposed to be a poopy pants and go the other way, because it's all we got right now.
Yeah, I want to believe. I'm moldering right now.
Yeah. So with that, we'll be back and we'll do World Cup preview before it kicks off, obviously. To start season 6. Ooh, who knew?
Wow.
But anyway, thank yous, of course. Thank you to our patrons, number one. You guys were awesome. You're a patron for a month or the whole year. We do appreciate you all. If you've been a patron for 2 years now, of course, we really appreciate you all, and really, really, you make this a lot easier to do without as much stress.
Yeah,
let's say. So
certainly,
we appreciate you all for doing that, for being supportive of us and downloading, listening, and all that good stuff. And obviously, we appreciate everyone that's interacted with us on Twitter and has pushed our stuff and giving us bumps here, there, everywhere that we need. Yeah, so we do appreciate you all for interacting with us and pushing our interactions and our engagement higher.
Right.
We need it.
Much appreciated.
Thank you to everyone that listens. I know not everyone that listens is on the Twitters or chooses to interact with us on the Twitter, but we do appreciate you all for listening and downloading and letting us babble into your ear. And whether you just listen to, I think it was the most downloaded episode of our pod so far ever, which was way back in that heavy season of many competitions fantasy wise. But
okay, yeah.
If that's the only one you downloaded, that's right. Okay. We appreciate you anyway. and then yeah, everybody that listened throughout the year as well. We like the consistent ones that bear with us through the hard times and the easy ones and the fun ones, because hey, this is that's where we're at. We keep doing it and showing up for you also. We appreciate you when you all listen to us and download. And of course, thank you to our better halves.
Yeah, we did that last week. Taking the crew.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
No,
the door better not be open, dude. You're gonna die. You're gonna die.
He's out of earshot. I'm okay to say it.
Yeah. So we know everybody. If you didn't listen to 200 last week, yeah, we can only do this because they put up with it and because they're willing to accept that. Okay, tonight is such a night where you're going to go bury your head into a microphone for anywhere between an hour to 2 hours sometimes, which is, a little arduous and tedious. And then mine on top of it is just like, oh yeah, you're editing the pod now, aren't you? I'm like, yeah, sorry. Yeah. She's like, okay, I'll come back and bother you in a little bit. I was like, yeah, please do. Make sure I haven't gone and smashed the screen in. But yes, we do appreciate the fact that we have some very supportive and understanding wives and people in our life, because otherwise we would have stopped doing this like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
At least. I would say at the latest. At the latest. Otherwise we've been season 1 and done.
Right.
Hit it and ditch it. Yeah, that's all. That's the best we can do.
Yep. And we'll let you know what happens as we get closer to next year, and as we said, we're going to learn about fantasy comps, what's going on, and
yeah, well, we will always have something to do for Champions League. Obviously those that want to bow out, if it's not quite their cup of tea, we get it. But there's at least one spot that will be open, so put your hand up, everybody. It's fun. It's fun. We're welcoming. Who are we welcoming in next year? Franco to Division 1, I think.
I don't remember. I don't have the records from DC.
Yeah, I think Franco is coming into Division 1, so that'll be fun to add a new person into the mix and see what kind of bullshit they like to create. But yeah, so until next time, friends, enjoy the months off, enjoy the TRC and the warm-ups to the World Cup. We'll talk to you guys sometime.
Enjoy Eddie Jones.
Yeah. No, don't enjoy that. Don't enjoy that. Trust me. But yeah, we will talk to you all sometime late August, early September. Until then, enjoy it. And thank you, everyone, once again for season 5. We'll see you season 6. Have a good one, folks.
Later.
Cheers.